I do got to defend defending real quick. Coaching defending is easier, but it depends on how specific and detailed you get with it. Because we were having a conversation a few years ago, and I asked you, like, is it harder in basketball mainly, but in sports in general, is it harder to go from being a great defensive player and adding offense to your play, or being a great offensive player and adding great defense to your play? And you pointed it out in a very astute way. You said, I think it's harder to be a great offensive player and then become a great defensive player, because defense is a lot of mentality. And I truly like, and I was just thinking about it. Honestly, you see the difference in players who really want it. And you can see the players, I feel like is one of those players who he has to make an effort to make an effort. You know, he'll be on the pitch. He's like, all right, I got to run now. I got to go defend. I don't know, but I have that feeling.
I'm very shady. Wow.
Depends on the game.
That's what a coach wants to hear. That's what a coach wants to hear.
I know. That's exactly like a forward right there. It's like, today, I mean, it's just them. But I agree. There's a lot of you need a lot of patience with the younger players. I think you need a different type of patience. I think you do need more patience with younger players, but you need a different type of patience with older players. Because I know at a certain point with older players, I'm like, we shouldn't be having this conversation right now. You should get this. You should, whether it's sports related or not, like you shouldn't be missing this. You should be on time. Or why am I getting comments from teachers or parents, et cetera, about you misbehaving? Like at a certain point, it was like, I should not be having this conversation with you. Whereas younger players, I'm more patient in that sense. And then there's just sometimes childish, because you put it out perfectly. You have not just the height difference, but you have just the maturity difference. And it can be in just months. I had a mom tell me, I won't say when, tell me that her child is still a young kid in his head, because he's like, he's an end of the year baby. You know, it was born a little bit later than everyone else. And you really see the difference. And I think people who don't deal with kids, which we all do, don't really know how much a few months can be a difference in a child. It is shocking, the difference you see in people. But Phil, you as well work with a lot of young kids and older kids. Is there a difference, not necessarily involved in coaching, but is there a difference you see in how you would teach something to someone?
Yeah, of course. I mean, we always have the conversation, and I don't know how young you guys have coached, or I say how old, but there's a cutoff point for athletes. So right, I know how old. But ideally, I think that the challenge is trying to figure out how you sort of that message. Like what that mom said is honestly true. You do have those kids where they could be 16, but maturity-wise, they're 12. And you're trying to meet that in terms of how they understand, how they break things down, and even the idea of comprehension. How do they understand things? You have those players that pick things up quickly and like, oh my gosh, okay, they read the game really well. They know what to do. In soccer, I feel like it'd be a bunch of positions, but in basketball, I feel like that's usually your ball handler. I want to say point guard per se, but usually your ball handler, whoever handles the ball the most, you want to be the person who reads the game really well, so they know how to keep it going. And it's just the challenge of trying to see where that person's at, so how you reach them. You give a lot more leeway, you give a lot more encouragement, a lot more reassurance when they're younger in comparison to when they're older. You depending on the kind of person they are, give them the kick up the backside, try to get them motivated, or give them the challenges where they want to try to meet them. It's balancing on acting on all realms. So it's a challenge, and that's why you guys get paid the big bucks.
Absolutely.
Thank you for checking out the ToroFoot Podcast today. I hope you enjoyed it. Hit the like and the subscribe button, and check out some of the other videos we have available as well. Thank you very much.